It is the F1 Sim Racing World Championship 2026. Welcome to Event 3 and Round 8. Some highlights from it. The moment that Barry Brumman, back for Event 3 for Ferrari, got the overtake on Freddie Rasmussen and romped home to victory. His first of the season. Ferrari back. Freddie disappointed with that. Well, from that face, Barry doesn't know how to celebrate. very good. Otis Lawrence giving him a round of applause. That man is still top of your Drivers' Championship. A lot of love being thrown out, and Ruben Pedreno finishing at P3. I'm Tom Deacon. Come along and join the team if we haven't had you with us for the racing action today. Alex Jakes, Kai Bacchini, and, of course, Nicola Hume. Guys, change of jacket from Nicola. First of all, Alex Jakes, thoughts on this? Should we have changed our outfits for this second race?
Well, we debated it, didn't we? But we've gone for the one outfit strategy for today. Nicola's come prepared.
Two pit stops.
Gone for the two.
Fair enough. It was brilliant action. And what a race from Barry to see him get that overtake right on the last lap.
I didn't think he was going to be able to do that. Fair play to him. He stuck at that for a very, very long time, applied the pressure, forced the opening, and then great move, because at one point at Hugenholtz corner, I thought we were going to see an Aston Martin win. So it was a brilliant finish on the last lap. For the win, you can't ask better than that.
And Nicola, you caught up with Ruben Pedreno, and he said he thought it was a possibility. When he saw them battling, he thought, you know what, it could be a win here.
Yeah, it was either going to be a win or a crash. That's how he saw it. And he was like, well, I might as well just give it a go and see how we get on. I mean, he was so excited to race that track anyway, because Zandvoort, he absolutely loves it. So it was just so nice to have such a positive feeling, especially because, well, the last few sort of qualies have been a bit tricky. People have been a bit negative because we're coming towards the end of the season. So just having pure joy from Ruben, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Bottle that up, that enthusiasm. It's great to see, and great to see Aston Martin picking up some vital points in the team standings. Kai Bacchini in the commentary box with Alex Jakes, also part of Quali here in the studio. It delivered, and we were talking about Kota being the real one with fireworks, but that had fireworks in it.
Yeah, Zandvoort, you know, it had that little dull moment in the middle of the race, which is exactly what we expected, because strategy was such a big part of the race. We had so many different strategies as well, and it seems like every team and every driver had their own approach to it, which is exactly what we saw in the replays here. It was great racing all the way through, and as Alex said, I don't think we were expecting Barry to be able to walk away with that victory. A very uncharacteristic mistake from Freddie Rasmussen heading into Tarzan at turn 1.
Yeah, we often talk about it. We did in event 2 with Otis Lawrence in Barcelona, and that entanglement with Jarno Opmeer. And it's interesting, the mindset coming into this as we watch some more overtakes from the Ferraris. But it is the mindset. How do you switch off from that mistake? And that's what Freddie Rasmussen needs to do.
Yeah, at the start of the race, as we're going back through the highlights from earlier on, they were just basically Paddington racing. At the start, you have a go, we'll look after the battery. Then we got into the interesting pit stop phase. One stage of the race, we had 3 drivers at the front who hadn't made a stop, some drivers at the back who'd made 2 stops. And the strategy you wanted to be on was a 1 stop. That's where we got to in the end. Fairly intense. Now, those who had tyre advantages had to go pretty bold. It's a difficult track to overtake on the best of times. This was a tasty move on Ismail Fassi to get past Crozen, and then it got very, very tight further back, Kai.
Yeah, Thomas Ronhaar, unfortunately, coming off worse from that incident with Tom Manley as he retired after hitting the wall. Now, this was the mistake that handed the lead to Barry Borman, a dummy on the inside, and Freddie Rasmussen fell right into the trap, heading a little bit wide at turn 1. From there on, it was the Ferrari's game, and bully ball all the way to the line. Barry Borman managed to walk away with his first victory of the season in his only second appearance in the events.
It looked like a calm down. Yeah, just calm down. But he was ecstatic when he was here with myself and Nicola, just really pumped, just so appreciative of being able to compete in event 3. Picked up 5 points in our first race at Spa, and now picking up a win. And when you look at the form that we're going into around Kota, he delivers. There is the classification there of round 8. Freddie Rasmussen quietly accumulating points though, Nicola, even though it's a disappointment of not getting the race win.
Well, it was a disappointment, but not what we were expecting from Freddie, because it seemed like in event 2 he had kind of dipped a little bit. So then seeing him get back on pole in Zandvoort, and then suddenly seeing him right at the top of that entire race, it was one of those where you're like, oh, okay, welcome back, Freddie. Very nice.
Interesting enough, with Josh Ido right down there in 17th, making that switch with Danny Beresny. We saw lots of teams do it. We could chat till the cows come home about the fact, and I don't even know why the cows are coming home. I hate that expression, but my point being, you could argue for and against it. It worked for some teams.
The cows like in a faraway field.
It seems, yeah. It seems.
It's a cliche.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My point being, Alex.
Sorry, uncool.
It's a long day, guys.
It is a long
It's
day.
it's a long day.
My point being, will we see more of it happen, or for event 4?
Yeah.
And the likes of Ulash Azildrum was out, Joni Tomala not picking up points, and yet you've got the winner from Spa. Maybe this will be the end of that? Will we see more of it? What's your prediction, Alex?
The prize money comes with the team championship. If the team's not doing it because they believe it's the wrong strategy, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Josh Eder was sensational. He nearly won the race in Barcelona after the shenanigans in front. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think where it gets particularly jarring when you're taking a race winner out of the seat.
Yeah.
Even if that was the plan in advance, that's a bit of a weird occurrence. Luckily, that race winner back in the seat for this one.
Well, looking forward to that. When you look at the team standings, any standouts for you, surprises, Kai, when you look at the results so far?
Well, I think McLaren did a great job at recovering some points in that race. I mean, especially Jake Benham, who started all the way outside of a usual qualifying position that you would expect a driver to be able to finish in the points. Benham did a great job of fighting his way through to finish 7th in that race. But Otis Lawrence, he's got to be careful up at the top end. If Freddie Rasmussen had have taken home that race victory, he would have been leading the championship right now.
Yeah, I was trying to throw you under the bus slightly there by sending you to the team standings and then gave you the drivers instead. However, perfectly handled. That's why he's one of the pros. Oracle Red Bull Sim Racing, 176 points. They are going to continue to accumulate. The fact that Jarno Ottman missing out on points in our last race, but prior to that, scored them in every other single race. It's a minor blip for that Red Bull team, isn't it?
A minor blip, but I think we do need to discuss what's going to go on between Jarno and Freddie here, because there's now a 20-point difference between the two of them. And we weren't going to be thinking that this was going to happen on event 3. We were all kind of thinking, oh, it's Jarno's. It's now between Jarno and Otis, and that's it. But it's not, because now Freddie has jumped 20 points above Jarno. So now who is driver number 1? They're both still driver number 1. How do they play this over the next 4 races?
And yet you say that, and I think those two drivers are the most, it's the team. It's the team.
Yeah.
They're both world champions. Jarno is the GOAT, 3 world titles, and Freddie Rasmussen picked up a title as well. They'd obviously like to win one, but it's about the team. Listen, let's talk about COTA then. We know how exciting this is as a track, historic in the F1 sim racing world. So much to get into. What do we like about this circuit, Alex?
All of it.
Okay, good. Well, that's
Absolutely all of it. One of the best circuits on the planet, and it has always provided us with astounding races, brilliant overtaking opportunities, and multiple cars wide, certainly in what I always call the stadium section towards the end of the lap. One of the very best races I've called for the championship was here when Jarno Ottman was able to fight his way through to win. He'll be looking for a repeat for that, but yeah, great overtaking opportunities and a great track for qualifying as well. It's one of the best in the world.
Now, a driver who finished on the top step last year was Thomas Ronhaar, not picking up any points at DNF. We saw that collision. It would be, now's the time to return to that sort of winning form, Kai.
Yeah, well, he kind of has to. If he wants any opportunity of being high up in the driver's standings, helping out Mercedes in the constructor standings as well, he really needs to get on top of his game, especially bouncing back off that incident in Zandvoort and in the Netherlands. As you can see, he won the race last year. That was under the Kick-Sauber colours. Now, in a fresh silver Mercedes Arrow, can he do the double?
Yeah, Barry Borman right there. That's the first thing I noticed. I said to him earlier on, he said, I'm out of the Drivers' Championship. And that's part of me thinking, I don't know, though. I mean, there's still a possibility. It would be very difficult. But he's got the form. He had the form around our last race in Zandvoort, and he has the form here, Nicola.
Never say never with Barry Borman. I mean, when he was sat here on the sofa earlier after winning at Zandvoort, we said, how do you feel about COTA? And he said, well, it's a tricky race. I think when we were here for race 1, when it was Spa for event 3, he was just enjoying being back and just pleased to be here. But now he's won a race, I mean, he's going to go in all guns blazing, I think. And why not?
Yeah, absolutely. When I asked him, I said, what's your favourite part about Austin? And he said, everything. Just so you're absolutely spot on with you and Barry Borman.
It's a good track.
Let's talk about drivers in and out. Let's start with Racing Bulls. You mentioned it earlier, if you picked it up, Ulash Azildrum back in the seat. And do you think it's helping him to have a little breather and then come back in? Or when you got a hot hand, you just got to play it, right?
Well, he's in the mix then for this one, and he has been strong in terms of one lap pace, in terms of racecraft. He's one of our winners this year, breakthrough win, and a huge reaction for that. Big moment for so many Turkish fans that he was able to withstand the pressure from the driver that he is replacing. He's alongside Yoni Tormala for this one. But Tom Manley, second yesterday, not in the seat today. For the second one, this is his moment over the line, and was superb, just absolutely superb in qualifying and the race. And he'll believe he can do it again.
What a feat he has created for Racing Bulls, their first ever win in F1 sim racing, and also didn't get enough credit. Some of the reports of how much that man can put away in terms of food. 4 burgers and chips as well. Brendan Lee was telling us he'll be
4 burgers?
4 burgers, one sitting with chips, yes, and then said no soft drink because that's unnecessary calories. That guy can put it away, and I'm not expecting him to not deliver today. Turkey came out in full force to show that support. The last winner, I believe, Kai, we were talking about the last winner, Turkish winner in F1 sim racing.
2017, it was Cembolik Basi.
Yeah, and the fact that Turkey's come out to show that support, and of course, it will be on the F1 calendar next year, back in Turkey. Looking forward to that one. But there's an opportunity for him, definitely, to make a name for himself. The fact he's missed out on some races, and he was 4th in the driver standings, could there be an outside chance for Ulaş Yıldırım if he races today and every other race?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you put the driver who's capable of winning in the car every race, you've got a chance of scoring more points with him. I mean, it's just a very, very strange thing, because he's had a little bit of a season like Ismail Fassi had last year, where he's just taken that step up. He's just taken that next step up to be a contender week in, week out, and not just have 2 good rounds a season. He's consistently very, very quick. You'd expect him to be challenging for the top 5. Maybe that wasn't the case at the start of the year when they agreed their driver plan to be slightly kinder to the way they've gone about this one.
Sometimes it's about how you respond to everything that's happening. We've had we're seeing Ulaş now, the Turkish driver. We've had many Hungarian drivers delivering a new name to take on board, Csontos Gábor, who comes in for Haas, mixing it up. Thomas Gau out. And there is Gábor Csontos for Haas. Looking forward to a first interview with him.
Yes.
If he makes it through potentially to Q2, Q3.
I feel like regardless, I need to go and talk to him, right? It's his debut. It'll be really nice to kind of see how he's feeling, knowing how the season's gone so far for Haas. I mean, could he come in and potentially save the day? You never know.
Could do. And it's all in the prize money of the team championship. Interesting to throw him in now, event 3, isn't it?
I was thinking that.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean...
Sorry, Joris. Sorry, Thomas. Thank you very much, but we need to mix this up a little bit.
Welcome to your debut. You must be electric around this circuit, right? It must be phenomenal around Kota to have that opportunity.
Previous winners around here, Rasmussen, Otmir twice, Rasmussen's twice as well, and Brendan Lee. In terms of winning around here, that sort of form, do we look into that in any way, shape or form, Kai? Who's won it before? Or because Otis has a chance around here. He was on pole, I think, last year. Didn't quite get it across the line, but we know how electric Otis is. No poles this time round in event 3, which has shocked us because he had 3 out of 3 last time.
Well, I think you do have to look at previous form. I mean, Zandvoort is a perfect example for that. Barry Bormund won the race last year and has been on the podium for the last 3 years as well, and then takes home the race victory today at Zandvoort. So I think you do have to rely on previous results, because although drivers will adapt, drivers will get better at certain circuits, you never lose your first love, and especially at a circuit that you're going to be so good at.
Never lose your first love. I don't want to talk about her. P2, back in 2017, 2018. Danny Berejny, he will be the teammate of Otis Lawrence. And how important is that? I mean, I'm not saying in any way, shape or form Josh Eder. We know how good Josh is. Didn't pick up any points in the last race. Prior to that, he finished P2, a podium around Barcelona. But the sort of calming influence of Danny Berejny might help Otis in the rig. And he's definitely the number 2 driver. All that experience to try and muster the best out of Otis.
He works well with both of his teammates, though. I think they're all looking for sort of a dry quali and race, and nothing complicated, nothing difficult. The thing is, it is a track where you can invalidate really easily. So they're just looking for a clean one. They were great together in Belgium yesterday.
A team that we haven't mentioned, there's more to talk about. What about McLaren, Nicola? McLaren?
Well, here's the thing. We haven't been talking about them. So I went and found them earlier, and I had a chat with the McLaren boys. I thought it might be a nice idea to catch up with the McLaren boys because I haven't had a chat with you over the last couple of days. How are you both doing? How are you doing, Alfie?
No, I'm good. I'm feeling good. Off the back of a good result in Zandvoort, obviously. So yeah, it was good points to the team after a day where we want to look forward after yesterday. We had some good race drives. We just got a bit unfortunate. So we're happy to start the day on a high today.
And it was a solid race from you, Jake, in Zandvoort as well.
Yeah, it was good recovery from slightly shaky Q2, but yeah, no, happy with P7, and yeah, just got to look forward to Kota now in a few moments.
Right, so let's look forward to Kota. How do we feel about the circuit? Because we were chatting to Barry Barrymond earlier in the studio after the race, after he won the race in Zandvoort, and he said it's quite a tricky circuit.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's quite a tough track to get a lap together. I think everyone knows that. But I think that's the beauty of it. It takes really skill to put a lap in, and whoever's on pole has done a really good job. Yeah,
do you agree there, Jake?
Yeah, there's a lot of curb riding that you have to get right. So yeah, I agree. Probably one of the hardest tracks on the calendar to get right.
So a lot of it, would you say, is down to strategy?
Yeah, I think obviously like risk management is key. Obviously throughout the sessions you're trying to get as best lap in as possible, but obviously in Q1 and 2 you're obviously looking to get through to Q3, so I think that will obviously be a factor in today's qualifying.
So we're currently, as I'm speaking to you, in the break after Zandvoort, just before Kota. So what have you been doing in this break to prepare? Have you been playing Uno?
No, no, we've just been chilling because obviously you have like a massive adrenaline dump in between races. So yeah, just trying to get the energy levels back up at the right time, and yeah, just chilling basically.
Yeah, how do you handle that? Because today is quite a long day. Quali race. It's a really long day for you guys.
Yeah, I think maybe it comes with experience. You know, both me and Jake have been in the series for a few years now, so I think we're used to these sort of hectic days. But yeah, I think we're both quite chilled in that way, and I think that is an advantage to us on the days like today.
And just before I let you go, so you can go and prepare for Kota, who actually won Uno last night in the bar?
Don't point it at me.
Oh?
Or me.
Brilliant. Lovely stuff. Thank you, guys. Go and enjoy the rest of your relaxation time, and I can't wait to see you on track later.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nicola. It's great to hear from the McLaren guys. I caught up with them as well, and it's interesting to see the adrenaline moment. They need to get rid of the adrenaline as quickly as possible.
Yes.
Uno is a good shout, but it's about the team bonding, which we know helps the drivers. So just get rid of that last race result and move forward. But they seemed fairly calm. Would they be calm if they found out it's rain around Kota?
I don't think so. Oh no, would you look at that?
Oh, as if by magic. And just on the subject, I mentioned about the cows coming home. It originates from the rural habit of cows returning to their barns for milking late at night. A slow and predictable process that takes a long time. Is this what they would have expected? A bit of rain around Kota? Is it predictable?
It's the best link you've ever done. That was outstanding. The OG for a reason, everyone. Here since day dot. The rain is a headache. If you're one of the main contenders, it's because that you practice hours and hours in the dry and you log the laps. And these mixed conditions across this event, it's just a variation that the big hitters won't want. And if your event has not gone to plan so far, this is exactly what you want. Curveball, variation, variable, what can we see? And suddenly you might have to deal with changeable conditions once again. And yesterday we saw like basically one lap qualifying, and it changed the grid entirely, led to a great race. So I think we're in for another phenomenal contest again.
And what made the difference yesterday? Listen to your race engineers. That seemed to be the way to go, and I'm sure it's going to happen. Imagine you're Gábor, you've just been sent in for your debut. This is a real come off the hour, come off the man right now to deliver for Haas. Hopefully he's been practicing on the wet.
Yeah, the wet weather racing really separates the great from the good. So it'll be interesting to see how Csontos is able to deal with the conditions on the circuit. I mean, for championship contenders, the last thing you want right now is rain, especially for that man that right there, Jarno Watmir, currently third in the championship, was second coming into this, so close behind Otis Lawrence. And Otis Lawrence only leading the championship by 5 points now. He would want everything to be very straightforward. Of course, he's more than capable of adapting to the conditions and dealing with the wet weather racing. We've seen that in Spa, and we know he's able to perform in these conditions. But in his mind, he doesn't want any distractions like that. He doesn't want any outliers. He doesn't want any risk. He would want it to be bone dry just so we can get on with the race.
Another team in blue, I'm looking at the race results back in 2020, I think, Nicholas Longa, his last podium around here. This would be a great time to help the Williams team out. They've been displaced from 4th in the team standings because of the heroics of Barry Brumman earlier on. Could be a time for him and that Williams team and what they've been able to deliver, what they did last year with Ismail Fassi driving for them, or what they want and hope for this year.
Yeah, this is a circuit where Nicholas Longa, and he did well after 2 races out of the points. He needed something to just re-establish himself, and he delivered that. He was well in contention all the way through, but realistically, once you're part of that DRS train, you're not going to be able to make more than one place at the end, and he wasn't able to do that, but he was back in the top 5 once again. That's the important thing. It's about having the belief, it's about having the confidence. That is hard to do with changing conditions. We're on inters at the moment. Got a long way to go in Q1, but it's wide open, Tom. It really could be anyone. You could see drivers that were knocked out in Q1 earlier on suddenly finding themselves a lot happier with the car on the inters. If it dries out, is anyone going to go for those slick tyres? Is anyone going to gamble?
Well, you have to be brave in this, as we saw with Vilas the other day, putting it on pole. We're seeing the invalidated lap there from Joris Krozen in our screen. That'll be a dent in the confidence in moments like that because of the treacherous conditions, Kai.
Yeah, and you only have a limited time in these qualifying sessions. When one lap's off the board, well, that virtually scrapes off 5 or 6 minutes of your qualifying session because you have your out lap, you have your hot lap, you have your in lap. That's a lot of time wasted that could have been spent on track time or practice or learning the conditions underneath you, which Otis Lawrence is doing right now as he dashes to the line for his first lap of the session, topping the timings. Otis Lawrence, did we expect anything less? Well, probably not.
Nicola, I've been curious to know and ask you, talking to the drivers out of Q1, I'm glad I'm not doing it. It does feel like you have to sort of eke out, like, where's it gone wrong?
I'll be honest with you, Tom, it's painful.
Yeah.
Because it's painful from my perspective because I can also feel their pain. And the last thing that they want is to have a camera shoved in their face and for someone to ask how they're doing. When you're sad, when you're upset, when you're frustrated, the last thing you want is for someone to go, what on earth happened there? Unfortunately, that's my job.
We're still going to do it, though?
We're still going to do it. And you know what? I'm going to do it after Q1 this time round as well, and I'm going to find someone. And hopefully, my plan is just to try and pick people up.
You've been doing a great job of that, I have to say.
I have just heard from the gallery.
Yes.
You're going to do the farming research for the next part of the show.
Okay.
Oh,
Tom, you're doing the awkward Q1 interview.
Perfect.
There we go.
Yes!
And I will do it until the cows... the point is, I'm just finding out 1 minute 30 left in this session. That's when it's going to start drying up.
All right, let's skip to that bit then. Because it's live. What? Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll just carry on until 2 minutes to go.
But if that's the case, as a race engineer, what are you saying to the drivers? It's set sometimes, but knowing...
Bring the noise with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
is what you're saying. If it dries out, it turns into a one-lap shootout again. And then the drivers have to find, Brendan Lee was talking about this earlier, have to find that 99% lap rather than the all-out attack. The problem is they're wired for all-out attack, aren't they, in qualifying? That's fairly risky. Danny Perez, they're getting his eye in with that turn 12 where you can put 2 wheels off the road just because of the nature of cutting the corner there. But again, you're flirting with invalidation if you do that. So that is tricky. It is all going to come down to a final 2-minute shootout.
I just felt like I wanted to do that because I was seeing my head in the shot there.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's still looking great, mate.
Thanks, mate.
I haven't lost a single hair.
We've got cameras and the screens are different areas.
They are in different areas, right? And like as a commentator, I'm just constantly looking at the times. So that is why I've tuned out if that looked particularly strange, which it probably did.
We are showing you behind the scenes. That's what we like to do. It has been a lot of fun, but I always put myself in a position of the drivers, how much they're going through as we look here at Csontos, live shot of him right now.
Which screen am I allowed to look in? Here
Here
we go. Into the pits.
Yep. And
Ooh.
that's it. Yeah, sure, why not? That reminds me immediately of Ollie Behrman at Silverstone last year in the way crashing into things.
Don't remind Ollie of that. Ooh.
Yeah, I won't.
Nearly derailed his rookie season, that one.
But he was all right. So a little bit of nerves creeping in there, a little bit of mistakes. It's going to happen. But as we said, it's that 1 lap shootout later on that we're aiming for.
Yeah, if our information is accurate.
Yeah, which changed a lot. I did hear the commentary around Miami with the rain. When was it coming? And in those situations, you don't know as you're racing.
You don't know if you ask DC. I'm not even sure the app was connected to the Wi-Fi.
It was constant checking of that app, wasn't it? It was constant.
But this is the excitement, and what I was mentioning before was the fact that the drivers, it's a long day. They've got to keep their focus. We're losing ours.
We absolutely are.
We've been talking about cows all day.
We are, but it's nice to have your company deep into the session. Normally, it's just us on our own at this stage, guys, isn't it? And like we're yakking on through, waiting for the final 2 minutes.
How much will Thomas Ronha? Brendan Lee spoke about it. The incident with another Thomas, as in Tom Manley. That incident giving him a DNF. For that last race. How much will that stay with him? How much will he sort of let that go, move on? It's tricky.
But I think that's one thing that the drivers will learn very quickly in sim racing is that you can't be too upset about your previous result because, well, in this circumstance, you've got another race in an hour. You have to focus on that qualifying straight away. So you can't let that bad result just linger in the back of your mind. You kind of had to flush it out straight away and forget that it even happened in the case of Thomas Ronha because there's nothing he can do about it now. There's no way of him fixing the result. Yes, he can replay it in his mind and think, well, where could I improve? Where could I have changed? What could I have changed to avoid the incident? But there's no point going over that now because it's happened. So he needs to focus on forwards and think, well, where can I recuperate the points instead?
Flush it out. Good expression for that. Mentioning about this quali show, which I thoroughly enjoy having the whole team, and it is a long day and we love it. Julian Clafferbox said something very nice to me. He said he really enjoys the quali show. He watched it earlier on whilst not in the rig when Tico was in. He said he's really enjoying it. So
That's nice.
we can't hear this now, but shout out to Julian Clafferbox. The drivers that aren't there are watching this and enjoying the way that we talk about
Maybe his
drivers.
engineer could tell him.
Yeah.
Great lap for P5. Well done.
Yeah, but it is one big family at the moment here at Formula One's Technology and Media Centre as we watch some of these laps come in. When will the moment happen when they really have to send it?
In about 6 minutes, in about 4 minutes and 40 seconds.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Well, based on that, apropos nothing, who is going to take this win? I'm going to get your prediction now. Based on nothing.
Based on no evidence.
Yes.
My favourite type.
Who's getting the win of the race or who's getting the
Who's getting the win of the race? Or maybe we could go for poll. Who's going to put it on poll? Let's go with there first.
Put it on poll. Where is he? He's in ninth. I think Jarno Opmeer is excellent around this racetrack, but he's going to tumble down the order, so it's a bit risky. I think he's going to be in contention. I'm watching him. He's my driver to watch for this one.
Your driver to watch, Kai?
I'll ride the high. He got a podium last year, Barry Borrowman. Like, why not? You can do a couple places better.
I was going to say Barry, but now Kai's taken it. So
bandwagon.
do you know what? I'm going to go Otis. He's not had the most exciting first couple of races here at Event 3, and he's going to come back fighting. That whole team is just pure joy, isn't it? I mean, as soon as something happens within Alpine, it's just that, like, there's like an army of them just come in and hug everyone. It's really sweet. So I think, my money's on Otis.
It's like you with the Q1 interview. You just will not let the drivers be down. It's like positive.
Come
Here we go.
As we're on board with Alfie Butcher there.
Sounds like lead commentary, Tom Deacon. I'm enjoying this.
Thank you very much.
Go on, give it a go.
Come on. This is the moment.
Absolutely not. I was just watching what was happening there, trying to work out what we could see. And we're on board with Gábor making his debut in F1 sim racing. And do you know what I'm doing? I teased in there for like maybe 2 seconds of lead commentary.
I enjoyed it.
And I thoroughly enjoyed it, but that is
future.
enough. That is
Presents, commentates.
He does.
He
does idioms that no one understands or uses anymore.
I enjoyed it.
Alex Jakes.
I'm not sure the live chat did.
Alex Jakes, Kai Bacchini. This could be my last F1 Sim Racing World Championship, but this could be many more for you two gentlemen. Enjoy quali around COTA.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Waffle House, because we're ending now, and now we're about to take our seats at the main event. Thank you to Nicola and to Tom for assisting us through, let's be honest, a relevant part of the session. And we're going to get to the real thing now, because making his debut with no longer intermediate tyres on the car. How's this turning? 10, 12. That's all right. That looks decent. Gábor Csontos about to take to the track. You were saying plenty of league racing in his life, but never. Hello. There's a lot of movement there through the infield section in front of the big grandstand here. Woof. That looks tricky. Now the high-speed stuff. Gábor Csontos making his debut in the Sim Racing Championship. He's waited for his opportunity, and he gets it at this circuit. We're counting down to the final flurry of action, where the track will be drying out, and he's just getting some data, basically, at this stage, isn't he?
Well, that's the thing. After being out of the seat for so long, and this being your debut race, you need to spend as much time as possible on the circuit. And yes, you'll be getting valuable data for himself and also for the team if they know it's worthy sending out Joris Krozen on those soft compounder tyres, or do you still stick with the intermediates in this stage? Gábor very locked in on the simulator at the moment, trying to do his best, trying to use all the data that he will have been receiving from this session, but Haas have been doing an outstanding job in terms of using both their drivers to feed back information. So have McLaren, as there's still some tricky moments coming in for the two of them. Jake Benham and Alfie Butcher haven't had the end of a hard day just yet. We're going to get a replay here of a very Tokyo drifting moment. Maybe a little bit of fun here from Jake Benham.
Good effort, that.
Why, he's done his best, hasn't he? I think style points should be added into the championship total, because if it was, I think we have a new championship leader.
He loves these conditions. It's not been the easiest year. He's bemoaned his luck, Jake Benham, and everyone's now waiting for a very, very unusual situation. So we've had this before. Hearing that the rain has now stopped, so we have just written off the previous 15 minutes, and now it's time to get to the main event. We're going to lose 3 drivers at the end of this one, 18 in the field, few driver changes as well. For Csontos, the debutant, his entire aim is just to get through into the next part of qualifying. That would be a big success. There's a real banana skin out there for the drivers to avoid. You cannot find yourself out in the first part of qualifying and really have any chance of a major result, no matter what conditions we get. Freddie Rasmussen has been outstanding so far in this event. And we're concluding the event today with this qualifying session and race. And now welcome to everyone on an outlap. So we've worked hard to get here. And now we're ready for the final 2 minutes that's going to define who goes through and who goes out. And the rain has stopped. The track is still green. It is still slippery. It is still greasy. A reminder for you, because of the qualifying settings of the game, you've got the ghost mode on. There will be no dirty air. There will be no impeding, but still, you don't want the distraction of being right on top of another driver. You also, with the track drying, want to be last over the line. And what does that look like, Kai? Looks like that. Looks like the M25.
Well, it feels like we're back in Spa already, as although it was just the race one day ago. No, we're already back. It's going to be another mad dash to the line for qualifying, and unfortunately 3 drivers have to go at the end of this. But which 3 drivers are going to get caught out by these conditions? Well, the question is it going to be a lap that's not good enough, or will it be drivers that are pushing too hard and push over the limits? Well, in about 50 seconds, and give or take a minute or 2 on top of that, that is when we will find out. But it is just an absolute mad flurry of cars right now trying to make their way to the line.
I've heard of one lap qualifying. This is basically one car qualifying. Everyone's glued together here. So everyone's going to be setting the lap time at the same time. Never seen a situation quite like this before. Everyone's giving themselves a little bit of breathing space, maybe, 1-2 millimeters. This is it. Improve any errors, you're going to be in serious trouble. It is 1 lap to make it through into Q2. The 3 slowest go. And now the laps begin almost in unison. It's not lap 1 of the race. It's the crucial final moments to get yourself through into the next part of qualifying. It's everyone out there, not separated by much. This is it, the only chance that you've got to make it through into Q2.
It seems like every driver just chasing the car in front of them to the line, and that's the only way that it's going to work out, as we now hit 0 on the timings. Freddie Rasmussen still at the top for the moment, 200 separating him and Nicholas Longe as the drivers make their way through the S's through sector 2, a section where it's very easy for the drivers to slip up, make some small mistakes, just 1 margin And one more wheel over the white line, and that is your lap invalidated. But Danny Beresnay, a purple sector 1 to his name, looking for a barnstormer, is the Alpine driver as he needs to pick out his braking point here down the back straight into turn 12. Really difficult braking zone down into third gear from 8th. You go from 300 to 100 kilometers an hour in just the blink of an eye as Beresnay is just negotiating his way around the circuit right now. All the drivers out on soft compound tyres, all drivers expecting to improve, but who's going to improve enough?
Well, this is going to be a remarkable sight. The order on the left-hand side is about to completely rearrange itself. The drivers are about to go 5 seconds quicker, and then we will get Joni Tormela to the top. Then it's Freddie Rasmussen down to second. Now he's back up to first. Then it's Beresnay ahead of Boromond over the line, who's not got a good lap, who's at risk at the moment. Extraordinary. It's all coming in at the same time. And the 3 out, the instant result. We saw Alfie Butcher down there. Our iPad isn't working. Danny Beresnay put a good lap together. And we're going to have to wait to see the graphic, to see the 3 that have gone, because everyone set their time at exactly the same time.
Yeah, Alfie Butcher and Joris Krozen not setting laps than they would have been hoping for, just tumbling down the order as all the times came flooding in, crossing the line. Barry Borman did enough, and it is a head in the hands moment there from the Haas driver, and that is not what you want at all. Haas are just not having the weekend. I say the weekend. We keep saying the weekend. It feels like a weekend, doesn't it, Alex? Feels like a weekend of racing. No, it is middle of the week. It is Thursday, and all the drivers just looking between each other, and I'm sure saying, well, what's actually just happened?
Wow, that was incredibly intense with everyone finishing their laps at the same time. That is a very unusual occurrence, but we'll bring you the confirmation in a few seconds up on the screen, and then we will hear from the driver eliminated. Our iPad not enjoying everyone setting the the times. We do not have the full call box set up for this show, as you well know, as devotees of the qualifying hour will know. Disappointment then Krozen and for Butcher, by the looks of things, Nicholas Longate making his way through. And that's a shame for the Haas driver. There you go, Ruben Pedreno, Alfie Butcher, Joris Krozen. So Pedreno, after his heroics in the last race, finding himself knocked out, and that is a flurry of laps over the line. And fine margins. Krozen's laps just got totally away from him, but the others out by less than a tenth of a second. And that is a really, really tough assignment for your debut, but it's one that we've seen Gábor pass, and he is through into the next part of qualifying. I've never seen a timing page like something less than everyone setting their laps when it mattered. All right, the big hitters have managed to make their way through in terms of our championship contenders, and that turned into a almost instant one-lap shootout, as we expected, with the track drying out. We'll bring you a weather update, whether it will continue to dry out or we'll get something else. And this is turning into a seminar on how to fill not a lot of action, isn't it? Because the first 15 were a write-off, then we gave it the build-up, and then at the end, everyone was firing in the times. The iPad loaded yet? No.
No. Maybe for Q2. Maybe for Q2.
Yeah. I'm hearing that we're going to get a replay, which is terrific news. Thank you for that. I appreciate the gallery. They've been in there all day, working very hard. All right, let's enjoy it in real time once again. And so Tormela, then Rasmussen, and then, and just as it happens, we've got the timing page back. Danny Beresnay looked superb in that first sector, backed it up with the rest of the lap. Barry Borman, Thomas Ronhard returned to form for him. At the bottom then, we have the drivers putting it together at the very end. No, that's not working either. Never mind. All right, let's ignore that screen. There you go. You saw who was at front. Danny Beresnay back in the seat, and it's going very, very well for him. And it'll be going very, very well for us when we get to Q2.
Well, we have now started Q2.
That's the best news I've
heard all day.
There we
go. Let's hope it's all sorted out now for Q2. I mean, Alex, wow, what an impressive job to be able to fill that time whilst we tried to get the timing screen sorted. But fingers crossed, prayers up that it is working now. Alvaro Carreton out on a lap right now, Julian Klaffenbach, and unfortunately saw a few departures in that. Both the Ferrari boys managing to make their way through. Ismail Fassi and Barry Boromond doing a great job out on the circuit to make his way through. My favourite for pole position in qualifying. I mean, Alex, how impressive has Barry been on his return to F1 sim racing?
Yeah.
He hasn't had much time in the seat, hasn't had much time on these simulators. And I mean, what a piece of machinery these simulators are. They're definitely a lot different to what you may see in other sceneries or what the drivers may have at home, because obviously all the drivers have their simulators at home, but it's not going to be the exact same setup as what we have here. So a lot of adapting needed from Barry Boromond over the last couple of days to get himself accompanied and get himself acquainted with everything around him, but he's already back at the top, like we'd expect.
Yeah, he has. It's like he's never been away, and it was an incredibly satisfying victory for him earlier on. Great to have him talking it through when he was at the touchpad with us afterwards to reflect on a job really well done. Stayed patient, forced the error, and got the result. So it's Prozen who had the mistake on that lap. He was half a second away. Butcher and Ruben Petreno, who has gone from the high of Zandvoort to the disappointment of being knocked out in Q1. Track continuing to dry out, not super grippy at this stage, but drivers are out there learning all they can. Alvaro Carreton continuing in the Williams, and he will move on to this next part of qualifying. And again, I think the drivers will just be hoping for static conditions, to be honest, because it's been a bit of a stressful one across the course of the event with changing weather.
Well, do I have news for you, Alex? Having a look at our weather forecast here. As I said, it's not a British broadcast without having some weather updates over the course of qualifying. Yep, dry weather throughout Q2. We're not expecting any thrills or spills of rain down on the Kota circuit like we saw in Q1. Having another mad dash to the line, no, drivers have a chance to get their banker laps in, get some times on the boards, get themselves comfortable in the cars on the circuit, and in the dying stages, that's when we'll see them really go for it once again.
Yeah, so getting those times in nice and early. Alvaro Carreton from played a part on and got a little bit of screen time racing Ismail Fassi in the last race when he was scrapping over the points and comes straight back in. So reconnaissance lap complete. Same applies to Nicholas Longo. Someone's absolutely nailed that bollard. That's been knocked over. Here's Thomas Ronhaar, who actually found a good lap under big pressure earlier on and was at the upper end of the standings. Jake Benham, the sole remaining McLaren, he's going to go and finish his tour of the circuit. You can hear the beep for the DRS, and he puts his one on the board then. It's a 130.0 as the track continues to dry out, and with no further rain expected, everyone can help themselves to a traditional qualifying segment.
Yeah, good job there from Benham to get a solid time on the board, which sets him up nicely for the rest of the session. Jake Benham needs a good qualifying session. I mean, as we saw in Zandvoort, he is able to recover from a bad qualifying session. Danny Beresnay there, just getting a little bit sideways on the curve and maybe going 4 wheels off the circuit, but either way, peels into the pit lane and will abandon that lap. But Benham, as we mentioned, out in Zandvoort, qualified 15th, wasn't able to get a good time in Q2. So maybe Q2 can be different here for Jake Benham. Even though he started so far down in that Zandvoort race, was still able to recover for a good point scoring position. Actually, both the McLarens had a good point scoring position, finishing 6th and 7th between the two of them. Alfie Butcher leading the fray from Jake Benham, but if Benham's able to improve his qualifying position here, I don't see why he wouldn't be a front-end contender.
Yeah, given his race pace that we've seen, you could absolutely see it if you can solve that one-lap problem. Here is Thomas Ronhaar. Let's check in with how things are going for him in the second part of qualifying. Yeah, just getting greedy on the way to turn 9 and costing him a similar part of the racetrack. Alvaro Carreton.
Just a little bit over the apex. All it takes is a little nibble.
He's going to be turn 19. Barry Boromond. That was slightly more clear-cut. Back in he comes.
That's the thing with this Kota circuit, Alex. It is just so ruthless in terms of the track limits. And all the drivers are 100% of the time pushing on the limits, because if you miss an apex, well, that's 2 or 3 attempts lost straight away. We heard in the interviews after the previous race that COTA, every small mistake has a big impact, especially in fast and flowing sections, which is what COTA is known for. If you lose momentum, if you lose any rolling speed, then that impacts you for the majority of the section ahead. So drivers need to be right at those limits, just need to not be making mistakes like that, because that can be your whole qualifying out the window.
It can indeed. We're into the real part of the session then. Jake Benham's put a time on the board. Everyone else is on their outlaps. So we're going to get effort number 1 that's representative in the second part of qualifying. And Benham just deciding to get that marker down, but running out of sequence. He's back in the pits with everyone else. And so the contenders about to wind this up. Barry Boromund coming off the high of a brilliant last lap performance to take the lead and then go on to the win. Jarno Opmeer, a former winner around here in event history, and now with Red Bull Racing trying to continue on to find himself in a place to contend going into the final rounds of the season, with the final event coming 3 races after this one. 4 to go in the championship. This is the qualifying session to decide the grid for it. Everything in the balance. Otis Lawrence still with the lead, but it's a lead that's been whittled away. It needed that last lap pass of Barry Boromund, otherwise it would have been Freddie Rasmussen heading the field. Jarno Opmeer already has the title in his pocket multiple times in his career. So does Freddie Rasmussen. Otis Lawrence trying to win it for the first time. That comes with a different type of pressure, and his qualifying average that was essentially bulletproof before has taken a bit of a hit in this event, and he's looking to try with a dry track to show all of his prowess around here. He was the pole sitter 1 year ago at the Circuit of the Americas. We're sorting out the top 10 shootout, and on board with Barry Boromund with the crucial hairpin. That's beautifully judged and lovely, and early on the power, he goes up through the gears.
Yeah, Boromund really putting on a display here in the scarlet red Ferrari. But from the position of Red Bull, you do have to be sort of worried. I mean, they came into this series, season very much being the favourites, not just from an outside point of view, but also from an internal point of view, from the other drivers, from the other teams. They all said, well, Red Bull's going to be untouchable, Red Bull's going to be unbeaten, and Jarno Opmeer is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And well, what we've seen from the 3 events so far is that's not the story. There is a lot of other drivers that are in contention. Obviously, you still have the 2 Red Bull drivers of Freddie Rasmussen and Jarno Opmeer, 2nd and 3rd in the championship, but we have an 18-year-old for Alpine that's leading the championship at the moment. And at this current state in time, Otis Lawrence has a higher average finishing position than both the Red Bull drivers. So it's amazing to see that over the course of these races, that so many drivers are able to get involved, able to get in the mix, and even the likes of Barry Boromund picking up a race victory in Zandvoort.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Otis Lawrence hits the front ahead of Ismail Fassi, who had set that time that Ron Hart couldn't beat, that Rasmussen couldn't beat, that Boromund couldn't beat, neither Beresne. Jarno Opmeer into 7th position, not the most comfortable position, if you consider that you've got 3 contenders still to set times. Klaffenblock in his rookie season. El Zolderim with a race win to his name. It's crucial that he's behind Jarno Opmeer. And El Zolderim winning in Belgium. And here is Jake Benham then going again. Oh, big lift off. And that's the end of, well, he was pushing until the last, then comes back to the pits. Ran out of sequence earlier on and comes back. We're at the 5-minute warning. Santos on debut, finding himself, and lost the time here for Joni Tormala. And there you go. Aggressive on the apex, the scrub of understeer across the road at high speed. Difficult to judge turn 19, see that all the time. And all 4 wheels beyond the white line. Time invalidated for the man who finds himself in 15th place.
It's just the smallest margins that drivers are being caught out by. Margins that would gain you such minimal time, but minimal time is needed here in the F1 Sim Racing Championship because of the gaps being so close. We saw this in Zandvoort. every driver all the way down the grid was within DRS of the driver in front of them. I think it was a grand total of about 5 seconds that was separating first all the way down to 16 from the grid. I mean, it was immaculate to see, and we can see Joni Tormler. He was one driver that got caught out by that at turn 19. Another driver that looks like he's been caught out by track limits as well as Julian Klaffenbach, as he doesn't have a time on the board at the moment. There is Julian Klaffenbach in your picture, the rookie that was able to pick up points at Saudi Arabia in the last event, finishing in P7. That was his first point scoring finish of the Sim Racing Championship. Exit of turn 19. This time it wasn't clipping at the apex. It was just planting your foot a little bit too early and opening that steering. That is what caught out Julian Klaffenbach. But he can look back at that. He can learn from his mistakes and he can make those slight adjustments heading into his final run, can't he, Alex?
Yeah, I was just looking when he crossed the line. It looked like he was on for a 29.8, and he wouldn't have gained too much from that. So he can take the positives that, like, he's in the mix. He's in the mix to try and fight his way through here, but not the foundational lap that he would have wanted that gives him the opportunity. That's tough. That is tough. It wasn't wide by much, but was wide by enough to have that time invalidated. At turn 19, really difficult to judge around this 5.5 kilometre circuit. Last year, it was Thomas Ronhaar who took the win. Barry Bowman and Jarno Opmeer joining on the podium. Danny Berezne, for so many years, a consistent performer. He is the preferred choice for Alpine for that second seat. His teammate, Otis Lawrence, going for the title, at the moment, has the fastest time. So, Klaffenbach will believe there is an opportunity to trouble the top 10 here, but how do you balance the risk versus reward? Well, he's got very little to lose being in 14th at the moment. Joni Tormler proven time and time again that he can find a lap when it matters. And Duncan Hofland, at the moment, the driver at greatest risk. Slightly surprising to see Nicolas Longuet in 11th, given his form around here in the past.
Yeah, Longuet, he's always been so strong in qualifying. Had a little bit of a dip in pace for a couple of races. Found it back in Zandvoort once again. Qualified fourth, finished fourth on the road. So a nice haul of 12 points going the way of the Williams driver, trying to help out the team in the Constructors' Championship and also himself in the drivers' standings. Williams just being pipped there for fourth in the drivers' standings after that absolute masterclass from Barry Boromond. Scuderia Ferrari esports team now sit themselves fourth in the Constructors' standings, just 3 points ahead of Williams. And it could be 1 point less if one of the drivers is able to get it on pole. Both Alvaro Carreton and Nicolas Longuet finding themselves in Q2 right now. On to their final runs. Danny Berezne is going to be the first one to lead the charge as he makes his way down to turn 1. Very clean and very tidy there from Danny Berezne as he'll now make his way into the second sector through the S's. This is where you really need to thread the needle. The car is going to be on skates at every moment. You're going to be dancing on the white lines, but you can't afford an invalidation. But Berezne, he'll know that from his multiple years of experience in the F1 Sim Racing Championship. You can always rely on him. He's the old trusted at Alpine.
He certainly is, and he's certainly enjoying that first sector in the session so far. Driver currently in 6th, not with a huge margin, but those definitely capable of improving behind, deciding to go early, deciding to try and check out of this session and book himself a place in Q3 later on. We have Longuet, Benham, Santos, Klaffenbach and Tormler finding themselves in the drop zone at the moment. Carreton needs an improvement. Hofland needs an improvement. The others behind definitely capable of finding a route into the top 10. Danny Berezne has a good first time that gives him that handy buffer, but you can see improvements of 0.2 of a second at the end of this stage of qualifying. All in with what looks like a clean lap. Come across the line and he gets up to 3rd. That will do it for Danny Berezne. We will see him in the top 10 shootout later on. Okay, this is the driver currently in 10th position. He is under big pressure. Duncan Hofland looking for the lap that stays within the white lines at turn 19. That's crucial. Where does he go? Look, he's finding that, or he was finding about 0.2 as he comes across the line, and he improves himself up the order. And he's up to 8th. Oselderham down to 9th. Carreton in 10th position then. Here's Freddie Rasmussen closest challenger to Otis Lawrence, and he goes over the line. He is in 5th position. Next up, Joni Tomala didn't have a time before, and his effort gets him up to a 9th position ahead of his teammate that will be needing to be responding to that. This is Ismail Fassi improving by just shy of 0.2 of a second. Ismail Fassi, top of the pile. Klaffenbach got close, not close enough. He's in 11th. It's Caraton, Longue, Benham and Santos at the moment. Jarno Opmeer has a time good enough for 6th position. And El Zelderim into the drop zone. Duncan Hoffland back on the bubble. El Zelderim responds and he manages to get up to 4th. Important lap for him, and Duncan Hoffland is out, along with Joni Tomala, Klaffenbach, Alvaro Caraton and Santos. And right at the end, El Zelderim, our winner yesterday, found a time good enough to contend in the top 10 for pole position. A dramatic last gasp effort over the line gets the Turkish driver through.
So the lights go out on the Haas colours. It's Gábor Csontos that is going to depart here from Q2 to make it both Haas drivers that are out, as well as Aston Martin, with Duncan Hoffland just leaving it a little bit shy by a couple hundredths of a second, finds himself out in 11th position. So just a reminder, your drivers that will leave us in Q2 are Gábor Csontos, Alvaro Caraton, Julian Klaffenbach, Joni Tomala and Duncan Hoffland. 10 more remain, and it includes that man right there. We were saying he needs an improvement on his qualifying results. Jake Benham through to Q3.
It gives us a chance to see his racecraft in the top 10. There's Duncan Hoffland, missed out by 0.04 of a second. So did Joni Tomala, Julian Klaffenbach, 0.05 of a second, and then Alvaro Caraton and Gábor Csontos not entirely in closer contention, and they are 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th and 15th on the grid. Tough moment for Caraton, looking downbeat as he would be 14th on the grid for a driver capable of pole position in this championship in the past on a couple of occasions. He lost his lap, which is why he was improving 0.07 of a second. You see how much it goes up to by being aggressive, and then he's expecting understeer that just wasn't there. And he loses the lap, surely, for the apex of the final corner.
Well, I think he would have had 2 invalidations there. He actually lost with the invalidation on the exit of 19, but turn 20 there as well would have been another invalidation. So Alvaro Caraton maybe just getting a little bit desperate towards the end of the lap. He knew he needed a little bit more out of it to make his way into Q2 and pushing the limits. A shake of the head there from Barry Boremans, and it was P10, just scraped his way through. He knows there's more in the car. He knows there's more within himself, so looking to improve over that 10th position, especially coming off the back of a victory.
OK, let's go to the first turn with our most recent race winner.
Already invalidated. Yeah, just cutting the apex there, Barry Boremans.
Can we see that again, Gary? Can we genuinely, can we see that again? I just want to see that moment. He's shaking his head out of relief. He made it through by 0.04 of a second.
Yep.
But let's have a look at the moment. So we're looking to the apex of the corner. That is crazy, because sometimes you can have the front wheels in contact and then
the rear wheels make it over. But
he just got too greedy, and yeah, that, by the way, everyone, was for my benefit, because I missed it entirely the first time. I was expecting it on the exit. Wow, going aggressive, it paid off for him, didn't it, in the last race? And he breathes an enormous sigh of relief, takes all of his learnings into the final part of qualifying, and he is part of the top 10 shootout with a genuine claim to fight at the front. At the very front, Danny Beresnay, absolutely on fire around this circuit at the moment.
Outstanding job from Beresnay so far. And out the back of that session, Nicolas Longue was actually second in the session, his teammate getting eliminated.
Let's check in with Nicola now, who's speaking to our newest competitor in F1 sim racing.
Yeah, I thought I'd take this opportunity to kind of get to know you a little bit. Gábor Csontos, welcome to F1 sim racing. How are you feeling after that? I mean, a Q2 for your debut is not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Not much experience in the rig so far, so I think getting to Q2 is pretty decent.
I mean, for those fans that are watching at home that are now just going to kind of get to know you as a driver, is there anything specific that you love about racing? How much do you practice?
Yeah, practice a lot. My favorite part of racing really is just side-by-side action. Not really good at overtaking this game, but yeah, I'll try my best.
Okay, so you're kind of just here for the drama. So at the start of qualifying, it was raining. So were you a little bit excited about the rain or stressful about that?
Didn't know if it was going to fully dry up, if it was going to stay wet for the whole thing. I was a bit worried, but yeah, it dried up in the end. So obviously we knew there was going to be a one-shot quali in the end. So yeah, thankfully didn't make any mistakes on the lap as well. So yeah, pretty happy.
And I mean, I don't want to put any pressure on you because I mean, I know Haas could really do with the points at the moment, but it is your debut. You're here at F1 headquarters here in the UK. How does it feel to make your debut here at Sim Racing?
It feels really good. It's been something I've been working towards for years now. And yeah, unfortunately, it's not the best circumstances in terms of preparation for me, but yeah, really happy to be here.
But anyone watching at home, and any fans watching at home, is there any advice that you could give them if they want to be where you are right now?
Just play the game a lot, really. That's it.
Play the game a lot. There we go. Gábor, it was lovely to meet you. I'm Nicola, by the way. Go and chill out and enjoy the race later. Thank you very much. Boys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Nicola. Welcome to the championship, Gábor. Brilliant to have you with us. It's time to play the game some more in a minute. Q3. We are ticking down, we are underway, and everyone with a chance for a breather. And we're going to see the fastest laps possible at the end of this session. Then Danny Bresnay out there nice and early, a track that he is thriving at in this qualifying hour so far.
Yeah, Bresnay loves to get out there early on the circuit, find his bearings, feel what the track conditions are underneath his car. Jake Bennett making his way out as well. Just getting a banker lap on the board. We've seen a few times so far this season drivers getting caught out by not being able to complete a time, not getting a banker lap in, and then invalidating with the pressure on their shoulders on the final lap as well. Barry Burmond, he'll be looking to do better than 10th position. Also looking to not invalidate at turn 1 because then the rest of your lap's gone. So it's not ideal there from Barry Burmond, and he knew that from the shake of the head, looking for a little bit better. Warming up the tyres there is the Alpine driver of Danny Bresnay. Ulash Azildrim tucked in behind.
So many corners that tempt you into being greedy on the apex. Obviously 19. See a lot of invalidation on the exit as well. Turn 12 is very, very similar corner as well in terms of being able to get aggressive with how much you cut it on the apex. Heading into it here, and then the exit. You can see very similar thing to what you get at turn number 1. Here's turn 19 that we were telling you about a few moments ago. And everyone on outlap, Q3, second Q3 of the day. And is Danny Bresnay going to put himself in a brilliant position to accrue more points for Alpine, who are having their best ever season? They are contenders for the team's title for the first time. They've come with this distinct livery and shows the effort and the dedication they've given to this year's championship. It's gone well. That looked very, very tight through the S's for Bresnay. He's dancing right on the edge. 2 wheels firmly over those white lines. We've seen laps invalidated on the route to turn number 9 so far. Bresnay's been threading the needle beautifully around the circuit of the Americas, widest possible line, and he continues on. This is looking very, very tidy.
Thing is, around this circuit, you have to be so committed. You can't have any doubt lingering in the back of your mind. You can't go into a corner wondering if you're going to invalidate. You need to commit 100% and, well, just deal with the consequences afterwards, which is exactly what the drivers are doing right now, which is why we're seeing so many mistakes and so many invalidations pumping out on the timing order. Danny Bresnay, though, not having many troubles like that as he threads it through the double left-hander. Really difficult to position the car through that section. Now finds his way towards the dastardly turn 19 that all the drivers have been struggling with. Can Bresnay keep it in order? Yes, he can, just within the white lines, right on the limits. That's exactly how you want it. Out the final corner, to the line. What is it from Bresnay? It's a 29.5 1:04.8 for the initial time on the board. Session theoretical sitting at a 1:29.4, but Ulash Yildirim with 2 purple sectors is coming to demolish that.
It's looking good for Yildirim, who had to have that last gasp effort to make it through, and that's a tidy lap. And he manages to go over the line and go ahead of Danny Berezne. So very strong from him. And Otis Lawrence now back at the front of the field on the first run. Barry Burmond into 4th. Nicholas Longuet now up to 4th position. Longuet finding himself with an effective lap there. Here is Ismail Fassi. Fassi gets himself up to 5th position. It's Lawrence, Yildirim, Ronhaar, Berezne, Rasmussen, Fassi, Longuet, Burmond and Benham. Here's Jarno Opmeer. Jarno Opmeer improves the 1 position. He's had his qualifying troubles of late, but he's in the top 10 shootout here with 0.2 of a second to find Otis Lawrence on pole here 1 year ago, looking a strong bet to go back-to-back. Yildirim, who needed a lap to even take part in this, is his nearest threat. And the Welshman smiling on as he makes his way through the traffic and heads back. That is a great opening salvo in Q3.
I think he knows that was a very, very solid lap indeed. Hooked that one up nicely, did Otis Lawrence, and I think it's... I know we keep saying it, that Jarno Opmeer's qualifying results aren't the greatest, but even for Jarno Opmeer's standards, P9's still quite low for the Red Bull driver. He'll be looking for more out of that car in his final run. Only one of the Red Bulls barely scraping into the top 5 at the moment, with Freddie Rasmussen just jumping up into 5th there. Thomas Ronhaar breaking the top 3 though, as he now finds himself in 3rd. We keep asking the question, is this the return of Ronhaar? And well, it very much could be around the streets of Kota. And Jarno Opmeer just trailing back to the pit lane now as he's crawling his way back. All the drivers will rejoice in the pit lane. They'll have a couple moments just to calm themselves down, get ready for their final runs. And then after that, it's all crunch time and nothing can be left on the track.
Jarno Opmeer will be confident in getting that lap time down, but so will the big hitters in front. This is he's got his teammate to aim for. There is our reigning champ, trying to become a 4-time champion this season. But at the moment, middle of the pack again, especially into that hairpin at the first turn on the opening lap. You really don't want hairpins to start a racetrack if you're in the middle of the pack. There's a man who's not having to think about the middle of the pack at the moment. Great first effort. Gives him that foundation to attack further on. Had a dramatic end to his last qualifying session where he spun away the chance of the front row. Yildirim wasn't in the car earlier on. After the heroics of Belgium, he's back in it and he's back as a contender for pole. I tell you what, he'll be doing all the races next year, won't he?
Yeah, he has to.
For sure, he'll be doing all the races next year.
See, if I was in Yildirim's position at this point, surely you have to be having the conversation with the team saying, please put me in for the rest of the races, because he knows he's competitive up at the front end. And if he had have competed in all of the races, then who knows? He might have been competing for a championship position up at the front end, if possible. But Yildirim, that's a conversation that needs to be had 100% with the Racing Bulls team. Out onto the circuit, drivers are now getting prepared for their final laps. Otis Lawrence, he's quietly confident, but you can't be too confident too soon, as there is still plenty of room for improvement. And if we know there's going to be improvement, it'll be from any of these top 10. Anyone could be on pole come the end of this session when the clock strikes 0. And for Otis Lawrence, I really do hope that it's not another bad moment, not another spin before his lap even starts. And for the poor wall as well, the wall took a beating after that one, didn't it? Otis Lawrence, out of frustration, we saw hitting the wall on hhis way out. He knew that was his mistake and he knew we could do better than that.
There hasn't been the same type of corner catching drivers out in the way that we had at turn 13 at Zandvoort. Well, it has been catching drivers out.
Yeah.
Turn 19,
Oof.
turn 1,
Oof.
Climbing the hill, approaching 9, apex of 8. There are definitely parts of this circuit that can deny you a chance to improve. For those in the lower reaches, this is the moment to start taking those risks. because you've got nothing to lose if you're over 2.5 tenths out. Barry Burman, I wonder if that was a symptom of him being very aggressive at the end, having to dial it back on the first attempt. I think there's more time to come from Barry Burman as we tick down now into the final stages of Q3. Danny Bereznay's been great all the way through. He's been great all the way through this hour that is about to tick down. It's the end of Q3. We had rain to start this qualifying hour. Otis Lawrence is the time to beat. They're aiming for a 29.449. If you can reach that, you're going to be in with a great shout of the first 4 positions on the grid. Otis Lawrence is the driver to catch in the points and on the timing page as we go into the final moments of Q3.
Well, maybe, just maybe, Alex, there's a penultimate corner curse. It was the penultimate corner in Zandvoort that was catching everyone out, and it's the penultimate here at Kota that's catching everyone out. Seems to be the driver's kryptonite, does the penultimate corner, but let's see if they're able to overcome their weakness on their final lap. This driver will be looking to do so. Danny Bereznay currently 4th in the order for a second row start, but he'll want an improvement. He'll want a front row start, and he will want pole position. Remember, it's a long run all the way up to turn 1, so maybe the second row doesn't sound too bad with the slipstream all the way up to turn 1. But however, track position is always going to be beneficial in the F1 Sim Racing Championship. Threading it through the final few corners. Into 19 goes Bereznay. Is it tidy this time? Yes, it is, just about. I guess we'll find out when he gets to the line. Is it good enough for an improvement? 4th at the moment, but what is it now? It's P1. Jumps above his teammate of Otis Lawrence, but still plenty of times to come.
Well, this is big. That is a big lap when it counts. Oh, that was brave from El Zelderim. That was brave. He's improving, but only by thousandths now in arrears to his opening effort. And El Zelderim comes over the line and he finds himself in 3rd position. Danny Bereznay is ahead. It's Otis Lawrence still. Oh, he got close, but not close enough. Danny Bereznay, an absolutely epic effort to give him provisional pole. Here's Jake Benham improving by miles. Jake Benham improving up the order. He gets to 5th. It's Bereznay, Lawrence, Zelderim, Ronhart, Longue! Nicholas Longue from absolutely nowhere. That is superb as he goes to the top of the pile. Longue, Bereznay, Lawrence, Rasmussen, Ronhart, Zelderim, Benham, Fassi, Boromond, and Jarno Opmeer is in 10th position. The checkered flag is out. And Nicholas Longue, according to my timing information on this iPad, has taken pole position by 1/1000th of a second. We'll get the official time in a few moments, but he's definitely top. He's definitely on pole position, and he steps forward with a mighty lap when it mattered. A superb effort for Nicholas Longue, who takes a 9th career pole in the Sim Racing Championship, with a last gasp effort that sees him start at the front.
The Frenchman will take it away from pole position. Heartbreak for Opmeer as he will start from down in 10th position. You may be sat at home wondering, well, why was there no final lap from Jarno Opmeer? And an uncharacteristic mistake through the S's of Sector 2. You can see just pushing hard. It wasn't the sector he would have been hoping for. Catching the curb, and the rear just gets away from him. The expression says it all. Disappointment riddles the face of Jarno Opmeer. One mistake is all it takes to find yourself out of contention for a front row start. One driver not worrying about that, though, is that man right there. Nicholas Longue will take it away from his throne at P1.
What a great performance. Well done to him. He's always got that lap in the pocket. He's always got that ability to find it. And he's delivered it. Williams delighted. Nicholas Longue, top of the pile. He's taken pole by 1/1000th of a second. 2 experienced drivers on the front row. Danny Bereznay, he was outstanding for that entire qualifying hour. He absolutely deserves that front row start. Otis Lawrence finding himself 100th back, and it's only good enough for P3. Freddie Rasmussen, 200th back. It's good enough for P4. Thomas Ronhart back in the mix as well. He was on the podium the last time that we raced here. He was very strong the last time we raced here. El Zelderim did not find the improvement. You saw he got very, very aggressive with 19, actually lost him time on the exit of that corner. And then it was Benham, Fassi, Burman and Jarno Opmeer with the spin in the S's. And that leaves him 10th with a lot of work to do. Duncan Hoffman in 11th, and it's Joni Tormela in 12th, Julian Klaffenbach in 13th place, and then it's Caraton Santos 15th on debut, and then it's Pedreno in 16th. Alfie Butcher and Joris Krozen were the unlucky losers of the raffle that we effectively had to make it through into Q2 when it was a similar track merge shootout on the way to the end of Q1. What a shock it was then for Nicholas Longuet to get the job done. That was Freddie Rasmussen coming over the line, and Nicholas Longuet can't believe it. Forever solid in this championship, and on his day exceptional. This is his day. He goes chasing another win later on, and Williams are delighted with their driver.
Yeah. And you can't blame them at all. Embraced by his father there, straight off the simulator. It's a 9th career pole position, as you mentioned, Alex, for Nicholas Longuet, but it's his first career pole position since 2023, the 24 season in Las Vegas.
Let's hear from our driver on pole position, talking to Nicola.
Yep, I'm with Nico Longuet, and honestly, you wasn't expecting that, was you?
Well, throughout the lap, maybe, but then as I came into the last sector, the last few corners, I thought maybe I just bottled it just in the end, but somehow managed to keep it, and then the last corner was good, and I think that was the difference between me and Danny. I couldn't even tell you where it is.
I mean, it seems to be 1,000th of a second between it. That was so, so tight, but you said to me just before we went live that it takes you back to 2022.
Yeah, that's exactly, I think, the same scenario, actually, to Barry, my old teammate. He had provisional pole, and I beat it by just 1 millisecond. So I guess it's back again, and I'm happy to be back on pole. It's been a while. Last year I didn't get any pole positions, which I used to be a hot lapper back in the day, but I guess I kind of did a good lap, and I'm happy, yeah.
Well, I think I can speak on behalf of everybody when I say welcome back to pole position. It's a very nice place to be. It was also really nice to see Barry Burman coming up and congratulating you.
Yeah, I mean, it's very nice of him, and he knows we're very good friends, and we've always been very fast on this track, me and him. So I'm sure he's going to be happy. I don't know where exactly he's starting, but yeah, I'm just happy.
Talk to me about that second to last corner, because it seemed to be that was the tricky spot for a lot of people in quali, but now we've got the race coming up in a couple of hours.
Yeah, so that corner is kind of like go all out if you want to go for pole. I tried and maybe went a bit too much on the inside and lost the car. You can gain a lot of lap time there, and I knew I was on a good lap. I wanted that pole position, so I sent maybe a bit too much. But in the race, it's a bit different because the track limits are very, very easy here to go wide. So it's going to catch people off guard a little bit, maybe get some warnings here or there, so we need to keep it clean and, yeah, don't get any penalties.
Hey, full send, though, right?
Always.
Always, Nico, you're a joy. Back to you guys in the studio.
There we go then. His 9th pole position, getting a thank you off Jarno. Let's go through the whole thank yous. His team have obviously thanked him. Barry, former teammate at Ferrari. And it looks like Nico's dad is pointing out who's who, which is good to see. And also go and meet them. Great to see there. Nico Longuet. No poles last year. If there was a driver who needed that, just that boost, we know how good he is. Hey, it's 1 point so far. Will he cross the line, pole to victory later on? We will only find out, but so close, such fine margins. And as you said, Alex Yates, from Q1 to Q2 it was an absolute raffle. And just mad. That's what we expected as we see a replay here. Drivers heading into the rig, not knowing what was about to happen. Danny Berezny, he will feel hard done by. But Q1, let's take us back there. We didn't know what was going to happen here for debuts for Gábor. Goes in, delivers into Q2. But what were the sort of talking points there of the three out? Joris Krozen, Ruben Pedreno and Alfie Butcher.
Krozen was a long way off, so he wasn't close. The others, pretty painful to miss out by hundredths of a second. We started the hour with everyone putting on a drift competition because there was, we all knew it was going to dry out for the end. We also knew that everyone was going to set their lap time at exactly the same time. That's what we saw with the shootout, checker flag out, and we eventually got the news that heading out were the three drivers that you were covering there, Tom, and it's just disappointment for them because that's just an unusual circumstance. That's just not guaranteed that would happen if we'd had a standard session.
Into Q2 we went then. Gábor, as I've mentioned already, making his debut, but the experience of Alvaro Carretón, Julian Klaffenbach, Joni Tomala, Duncan Hoffman, all heading out. But I mean, the storyline was there with Barry Brumman. I mean, how close was he, Kai?
He was very, very lucky to get through, did just enough to get himself into Q3, but by the skin of his teeth, he made it through. He had his hands on top of his head. He knew he left it right down to the wire with that invalidation on the final lap. But Red Bull, is this a sign of them falling apart? We saw the mistake from Freddie in the last race, a mistake from Jarno in this qualifying, where he wasn't able to get his final run in. Starting down in P10 is Jarno Opmeer, but Nico Longe, on his day, the fastest man on the circuit.
He used to be called the Hot Lapper. There you go. And everyone congratulated him. Good to see a bit of return for form for him. Confirmation of the classification, and there it is one more time. Otis Lawrence. No poles for him over these three races in event 3, but hey, anything can happen from that position, and 1,000th of a second from Danny Berezny. No wonder we saw shots of him in shock, like, what do I have to do? But awesome to see. Interesting to see the Ferraris down there in 8 and 9. What can they do in terms of the team championship? And all the way down, I was shocked, I have to say, with Ruben Pedreno there after coming off a podium. Fascinating to see what he can do in the race, but good stuff all around there. I believe Nicola is with Danny Berezny. What has he got to say for himself? 1,000th of a second.
Of a second, Danny Berezny, I was watching your face the entire time and your eyes were just locked on that timing screen.
Yeah, well, that's F1 esports for you. What can I say? The closest racing competition, I think, in the world. Cars are equal, setups are pretty close to each other after a year of preparation. So qualifying comes down to the smallest measurable margins. Congratulations to Nico.
I mean, it was super tight, but that lap that you threw out was pretty spectacular. How did it feel when you achieved it and crossed that line?
Yeah, it's a really hard circuit. You can easily cut and invalidate, so you always have to assess the risk-reward ratio that you are planning to take into each sector of the track. And all in all, I was really happy with my lap. I was hoping it would mean a pole position, but Nico just snatched it away from me. But all in all, I have no regret. Obviously, that 1,000th of a second I could find at many, many places, but I didn't, and he did, so well done to him.
Now, we had a mini chat just before we went live, and I asked Danny a question, and he said, do you know what? Ask me when the camera's on. So I'm going to ask you now, and I've got absolutely no idea what you're going to say. So, at the moment, with Otis Lawrence at the top spot of the Drivers' Championship, how does it feel for you right now? Do you still feel like you're there to kind of support Otis, or do you feel like you're still running your own race?
Well, I don't race all of the race this season, so in the driver's title, I'm definitely not in the fight, and I don't really care about if I lose a position or two because I miss the race. It is what it is. The Constructors' Championship is the most important, and we want to win at least one championship. Hopefully, we can win both, but both of the championships are top priority. The Driver Championship as well, so whenever I can help with that, I am happy to do so. And with Otis, we work the whole day together, so obviously his success, I feel a little bit my success as well. And teamwork's made the dream work. And all in all, I think with my experience, I can put in many cases my ego aside and my own personal goals aside and look at the bigger picture, which is to succeed together and not just individually.
See, this is nice. I mean, we're talking teamwork. You're in P2 and P3. So is this teamwork, or are you just going to go all out and just kind of race against each other for a little bit?
Well, we still haven't had time to discuss the strategy, but we will most likely not race with each other. We will try our best to up these positions by one each. That would be a perfect race for us.
I'm enjoying the whole kind of Alpine vibe that you guys have. You have a whole crew of people that just come running out straight after a quali, straight after a race, and everyone's giving hugs and high fives. I mean, you as a team just feels like a wonderful collective. Are you still enjoying it?
Yes, I really enjoy being here, and I'm looking forward to many, many more seasons together.
Love this. Back to you guys in the studio. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you very much, Nicola. Always good to see the height of Danny Berezny. You get to see all of the arena that you don't necessarily get to see. What I will say, what an articulate, fascinating driver. Yeah. So good listening to Danny Berezny. I could have more questions from Nicola because he just says it how it is and explains it, and very humble. I want to hear more of Danny Berezny. And talking about that battle, there isn't going to be a battle necessarily. That's what I picked up from that.
Yeah. Well, he's in there to be a team player. They're having a great season. They're in contention for their first ever team's title.
Yeah, here we go then. So pole position for Nico Longuet, Danny Berezny in second, Otis Lawrence in third. Would you still stick with the prediction that maybe this could be Otis's to win if he's got the teammate helping him?
I don't know. It's hard to say, you know, you've got so many fast drivers surrounding him, as you mentioned, Nico on pole, Danny in the front row as well, and then Otis in third. It's not going to be easy for Nico at all with that pressure, taking it away from pole position with two of the strongest drivers in the field behind you. You have to be feeling the pressure.
Basically, that means anything could happen. That's the perfect way to set this up. Alex Chase, Kai Virginie, to Nicola Hume. Thank you to you guys for joining us for what was a brilliant quali around COTA. Round 9 of event 3. The race is coming up. I think there was a timer in the corner. What were we, like 80 minutes? Something ridiculous? Just over an hour. 65 minutes!
Bring it back.
Bring it back. You do not miss us. We'll see you in 65 minutes as we go racing around COTA.